Hello, amazing friends. Have you ever felt alone on a hard day? Have you ever wondered if being honest can really help you, even when life seems unfair? Today, I have a very special story about a brave boy whose only rule in life was, I don't steal. Yes, you heard that right. Even when things got very tough, his heart stayed honest. So get comfy and join me as we travel into the life of Max, a simple boy who faced big challenges and found hope in the most unexpected way. Trust me, you are going to love this story. Let me tell you about Max. Max was a kind, gentle boy who lived in a small town. Every morning when he looked in the mirror, he reminded himself of his promise. I don't steal. To Max, stealing was never the answer, even if it might have made life seem easier for other kids. Instead, he chose kindness, hard work, and honesty. Max loved to help his friends, share his lunch, and even when he had very little, he always believed that doing the right thing would make him truly rich inside. His simple rule was like a little beacon of light guiding him along his road, even on the darkest days. One sunny afternoon, right after school, Max was walking home along a quiet street. The birds were chirping and the clouds looked like cotton candy. But not all was peaceful that day. As Max strolled by, he caught the attention of a group of older boys who were known to be troublemakers in town. These boys liked to do things the wrong way. They sometimes took things that were not theirs. When they saw Max, who always proudly said, I don't steal, they felt even more tempted to push him around. They shouted, Hey, you little do-gooder, why don't you join us in taking what you can't have? But Max simply replied in his small, soft voice, I don't steal because I want to be good and true. Even though his words were calm and steady, the bullies did not like it at all. In their anger, they surrounded him and started beating him. Max felt the pain in his arms and his heart. He was hurt, but his belief stayed strong. Even as the bullies raged, Max mustered his courage and repeated his promise to himself and to them. I don't steal. His words were not full of anger. They were full of a quiet, strong hope that someday goodness would win. Now, just when it seemed that nothing could make this painful day better, fate stepped in. Near the park, a kindly gentleman was taking his evening walk. His name was Mr. Carter. Mr. Carter was a millionaire, but not in a flashy way. He was rich in kindness, hard work, and compassion. In fact, he had built his success by always doing what was right. As Mr. Carter walked past the street, he saw a small beaten boy lying on the ground. Without hesitation, he rushed over. Stop! Leave him alone! Mr. Carter's deep, kind voice made the bullies jump. They were so surprised and a bit scared that they ran away as fast as they could. Mr. Carter knelt beside Max and gently asked, Are you okay, young man? Max, still trembling with pain but filled with a spark of hope, nodded quietly. Mr. Carter carefully helped him to his feet and said, You're a brave boy, Max. I saw your courage, and I believe in you. Come with me so you can get the help you need. And that day, the kindness of one caring man began to change everything for Max. Mr. Carter carried him to a nearby health center where a kind nurse cleaned Max's cuts and bandaged his wounds. During this time, Mr. Carter sat with Max and talked softly about life, honesty, and hope. After Max's injuries began to heal, Mr. Carter did something unexpected. He invited Max to his home, a beautiful mansion with a large garden full of colorful flowers, a library filled with books, and cozy rooms that felt like a warm hug. On the way there, in Mr. Carter's shiny red car, he explained with simple words, Max, money is one thing, but what makes a person truly rich is their heart. You see, when you work hard and are honest, it is like planting a small seed. With care, that seed grows into a great, strong tree. And that is the kind of wealth that stays with you forever. Max listened closely. In that moment, he saw that the world was not all darkness. There was room for light, hope, and even a little bit of magic. Mr. Carter also shared another lesson that day. He said, "There is something called compound interest. Imagine if you had a little pinprick of water, and every time you watered it, that drop would become a new drop. Soon you would have a whole bucket of water. In life, when you are kind and save every good act, these acts add up and make you stronger and happier over time." Max thought this was like a fairy tale made real. Even though words like compound interest might sound tricky, Mr. Carter made them simple by saying that even a tiny bit of honest work can grow into something wonderful if you trust in yourself. And you know what? Mr. Carter even had a funny pet parrot that liked to mimic his words. Every time Mr. Carter said, "Honesty grows wealth," the parrot would squawk, "Honesty grows wealth." It made Max giggle and forget his pain, even if just for a moment. Over the next weeks, Max visited Mr. Carter many times. They would sit in the garden, read books together, and even solve puzzles. One day, as they were walking by a gentle fountain, Mr. Carter pointed to the water as it flowed steadily over smooth stones. "Look, Max," he said, "watch how the water never stops moving, even when it hits a rock. That is like life. Sometimes you face obstacles or hard times, but you must always keep moving forward, slowly and steadily. Each obstacle is just a small bump that makes you stronger and wiser." Max's eyes shone with inspiration. He realized that by saying, "I don't steal," he was not only promising to be honest, but also to keep his heart open, no matter how rough the path became. Mr. Carter told him, "Every choice you make builds a brick in the castle of your life. If you choose kindness, you are building a castle that can stand tall even during a storm." And it was true. Max began to notice a change in himself. At school, even when some kids teased him because of his quiet nature, he stood firm in his beliefs. When his teacher asked him to speak about his favorite lesson, he proudly shared his story and his promise. "I don't steal because I choose to be honest and kind." Soon other children joined him, repeating the phrase like a secret mantra for a better life. In my own life, I have seen that honesty and kindness make all the difference. I believe that every little act of goodness can be like a drop that fills up a big bucket of hope. Just like Mr. Carter showed Max, it is our choices that make us strong, our choices that build the future. And yes, even if it seems hard when you are young, always remember, being true to yourself is the most powerful magic of all. As time passed, Max grew stronger. The pain he once felt slowly turned into a reminder of his courage and the lessons he learned that fateful day. He no longer saw himself only as a beaten boy. He began to see himself as someone who could inspire change. At school, his story sparked a wonderful change. His classmates started making small promises of their own. They would say, "I don't steal," when they played games or shared things with one another. Max even helped his friends when they were troubled. He taught them that any challenge in life could be overcome by standing by what is right, by trusting kindness, and by believing that every single act of honesty adds up to something big and beautiful. Even the teachers noticed this new spirit. One day the principal invited Max to speak in front of the whole school. With a brave voice, Max said, "I don't steal because I believe in building something better with my heart. When I choose to be honest, I am planting a seed for a future where kindness grows into a big, strong tree that shelters us all from the storms of life. His words touched everyone. The hall echoed with applause. Parents left the school proud and filled with hope for their children's futures. And in that moment, the small town even began to change. People remember that wealth is not just about money, it is also about trust, beauty, and the courage to do what is right. I want you to know something very important from this story. Sometimes life teaches us lessons in very unexpected ways. When Max was hurt, it would have been easy for him to give up or choose a different path. But a simple promise, "I don't steal," was more than just a few words. It was a promise to himself that his heart would always choose the good over the bad. Now, you might have heard a phrase like compound interest before. It might sound like a tricky word for grown-ups, but here is a simple way of thinking about it. Imagine you have a tiny seed. If you water it a little every day, soon that seed grows into a big plant with many leaves. In life, every kind act, every very small effort you make, adds up over time, just like that plant growing taller and stronger. Whether it is saving a little money, saying a kind word, or standing up for what is right, all those small choices add up. And before you know it, you will be as strong and tall as a mighty tree. I even remember when I first heard about compound interest, I thought, wow, that is like magic. And it is a bit like the magic in Max's story, tiny actions that lead to big miracles. Isn't that cool? In the end, Max's journey teaches us that being honest, even when it is hard, brings hope and builds a future full of promise. His promise, "I don't steal," is not just about refusing to take what is not yours. It is about building a life where you trust your heart, where you never let small acts of kindness go unnoticed, and where every challenge is just a stepping stone toward greatness. And my dear friends, this is a lesson for every one of us. When you wake up tomorrow, I want you to remember that your heart is your strongest guide. Choose honesty, choose kindness, and when you see someone who is hurting, like Max once did, be brave enough to help, just like Mr. Carter did. If you enjoyed this story and feel inspired to make your world a bit brighter, please do something very kind right now. Hit that subscribe button, give this video a big thumbs up, and share it with your friends. Also, check out the video on the end screen that shares even more amazing stories of hope and courage. Thank you for spending these moments with me and with Max's story. Remember, every time you say, "I don't steal," you are choosing a life filled with truth and love. Keep shining your light, stay brave, and always do what is right. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.